Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation.
Got it. Here we are, sans Kyle.
Kyle's flying from Tucson, I guess, and this is the only time we could connect.
Right. Unless it was late tonight and it was done. So, I'd had a couple of sets this week.
Oh
Weird.
yeah,
Yeah. What did
um,
you
okay.
do?
Let's see. I got a last minute set at the Super Secret Show at the Roguelike Tavern. That was pretty cool.
Where's that? Is
That's
that
in Burbank.
Hollywood?
It's
Oh,
right
Burbank.
next to the Vons, the shop.
Yeah.
It's a fun room to do a set in because you're right next to a chore you have to take care of anyway, which is grocery shopping.
Right.
Um,
Is it the Bonds on Pass Avenue? Is it over
yes,
by there? Okay,
yeah.
hilarious.
It used to be a different gig, and then that restaurant burned down, I think, or they had a big fire, and so I don't know if they just renovated and changed the name, or it used to be like an Italian restaurant, if I
Okay.
remember correctly, and the
No,
stage was someplace else. I bet you worked it. It was
I've never worked for the Super Secret people.
well, no, but I bet you worked in that building,
Oh,
that
right.
a restaurant for a little bit. It seems like a place
I
that's
th-
always doing a one-nighter at some
right.
point.
I think they had karaoke for a while, and CJ
Yeah.
Arabia dragged me to do karaoke there.
Okay.
And it was but it was everybody was pretty drunky drunk, so I didn't hang long.
Right.
And yeah. So what night of the week is that one?
It was Wednesday because Super Secret is it's like packed. I mean, I admire the not just those guys, but these people that are producing that can
I
I
can
don't know.
fill those rooms. Yeah, I don't.
The room because you're having comics that are some of them don't do a lot, like Reggie Watts was there. He's not someone who pops up all the time at places, but
Yeah.
a lot of it's like, oh, you could see these people someplace else too, but somehow they have created like I don't know, an excitement about the show.
Right.
And so it's packed and it's a really good audience and they
You,
pay you and it's nice.
right. There's another one. It's that blind barber gig.
Oh yeah, Blind Barber does that. Don't Tell
Yeah.
does that, yeah.
Maybe it's Don't Tell that doesn't book me. I don't know. I'm over in my head thinking about Don't Tell, and allow me to write down the names of people that I don't know if they're booking me, and
I don't need to
book
write
me.
down the names of people that don't book me.
Is it burned inside your cornea?
They're tattooed on my inner thigh, and I'm happy to cover up the tattoo as soon as you book me. Let me get rid of this Comedy Castle tattoo, and I'll cover it up.
Right. So tomorrow's when this comes out, the next day is Valentine's Day. Are you working Valentine's Day?
No, as I said, I'm no longer a sexy romantic
That's
comic.
right. You're you get Mother's Day. I get
I'm a
Valentine's
Mother's Day
Day.
comedian now.
Yes.
And
Okay.
guess what? I can do both. Okay. Especially because I'm talking more about sex in my new material. Okay. So please, I know what it is. I watch
Right.
movies.
You've given birth to at least one child, and which means you've had sex at least one time.
Yes.
Mhm.
So no, I don't have that Valentine's Day thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then let's see. Thursday and Friday was at Flappers.
Oh, nice.
And, I'm just trying to like collect as many new tags and bits as possible before this
Right.
taping, which is April 10th. I think I'm on April 10th. It's a Saturday. And it's the 8th, and I'm the 10 p.m. show. So
Okay.
I will, as soon as there's tickets available, I will be plugging the fuck out of it. I just hope I can
Right.
fill the room with friendly faces.
Yeah.
I don't want people that have already been at the 6 and 8 p.m. show. No offense, but you're going to be tired of comedy, and I don't want to be looking in your eyes.
Right. Right. So, what's the date on it again?
April 8th.
Okay.
Let me just double check while I have a calendar app.
Yeah. It's
Yes,
I got
April 8th
back.
is Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I got back on Tuesday from visiting my family because I came from Traverse City, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then I went to Milwaukee to see my dad and hang out with my brothers, and that was fun. I met with two. I now have two friends. Well, three, I guess, from high school, and there's
Nice.
only two that I've ever kept in touch with.
Yeah.
But there's an I mean, this guy, as far as I was concerned, he was super cool, but cool in like a he was a theater nerd. Like, so he
Yeah.
was not a jock cool. And in the 70s and 80s, that wasn't cool at all. And but Dave Schminke is and that is a classic Wisconsin name.
Oh my God. Yeah. First and last.
David
Oh my God.
David Schminke, good egg. Owns his own hair salon, is doing quite well. Lives in his both of them. Stefan also lives in his parents' house. They both, and I believe, and but David's on the our high school reunion thing,
Yeah.
and he wants me to put on a stand-up show at the local performing arts center, which, by the way, is the
Oh.
giant new theater attached to the high school.
Oh.
It's not a big, it's not, it's attached. South Milwaukee it bleeds into Milwaukee now. When I
Yeah.
was a kid, it was its own city, its own, because we have our water treatment plant and everything.
Oh, you're
And
always talking about that.
and and when my dad was a kid, it was mostly farmland
Yeah.
and a factory. And so I don't want I'm and I was like, I don't think that this is a good idea. I barely knew anybody in high school.
How
And
much are
for
they gonna pay? Are they gonna pay a lot?
It would pay, but
Okay.
it wouldn't. But the problem being is that what I don't, they didn't, I always thought that they didn't like me in high school. Turns out, allow me to course correct that and say that they weren't thinking about me at all. Uh, so they did occasionally. I talked to people at one of my last high school reunions, and they were
Yeah.
like, "No, I remember seeing you around. No, you seemed all right." And you're like, "Oh, I thought you gave a shit, and you didn't." So, but here's the thing: I don't want it to be Jackie lives in Hollywood, and now the reunion's about me.
I don't, I think at this point in all of our lives, whoever is still surviving is
Yeah,
grateful to see the others. You know what I mean?
no,
Like,
no, no, and I'm willing to do it, but
mhm.
I don't want to do it the weekend of.
Oh, I
I'll do
see.
it the weekend before, or I cannot do it the
Well,
weekend after, but I can do it the weekend before. And then
people fly
hilariously,
in though. I mean, if people are flying in, they're not going to fly in a weekend early to see.
my high school, everybody still lives there.
Oh,
Nobody
okay.
leaves Wisconsin.
Okay. Okay.
It's you really have to get on a train and then never talk to anyone.
Okay.
And so, but and and then Dave was like, "Well, what if it were a benefit for like the local human services, which is our food bank?" And when we were little, we got so much help from the local human services.
Oh, vacations did?
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
and so I was like, "Well, you're a dick." And yes, of course I'll do it as a benefit for the local
that
human services.
sucks, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's good, but fuck.
Yeah. No, and I was well, I mean, and he's
Can't say no.
incredibly supportive. He's like, "You can say no." And I'm like, "And I am going to say no to that weekend, but I'll do it a different weekend for sure." And we'll
Yeah.
and I want to bring like other Wisconsin comics, like Mary Mack and Tim Harmston.
Mhm.
Tim didn't get to do the last one we did. We did one probably 5, maybe 10 years ago, whatever it was.
Mhm.
And it was Mary Mack, Tom Clark, and myself. Tom Clark, another Wisconsin comic, he's very funny.
Mhm. Yes.
And then some juggler magician dude from Madison that Rachel,
Right.
who I also went to high school with and is now the curator of the South Milwaukee Performing Arts Center, who she booked him. And
Jackie,
I
look
was
at all your ties. It's pretty impressive.
like,
A lot of my, I don't know, a lot of my high school people, like they all stayed there in the Bay. A lot of people just don't leave. Like even in Burbank, a lot of like people our age were born and raised here. I
yeah,
noticed that when I was on dating apps, and it's like, wait, you went to
you're
the
from
same high school
here?
my son going to, and you're still
Yeah.
here? What the fuck?
hmm Yeah, it's and I will say that I to finish the story about the last time I did that gig with Mick and Tom Clark, it and the juggler, the my cousin John, who is our very successful cousin, as my father would say, very successful John Cation, real successful, owned the Hales Corners racetrack, and now he turned that garbage dump into a ski hall. That guy's really good with money.
Wow.
Anyway, so John comes and he goes to the church. Anyway, so he comes to the show. I see him at church the next day, and John Cation, who is easily 90, he said, "I like the magician,"
Oh no.
and I said, "Oh, you didn't like Mary?" Because everybody loved Mary Mack. She was the standout star of the gig because she's just so
She's great.
I mean, yeah, she's great. She's great in general and in particular Wisconsin, right? So I said, "You didn't like Mary Mack?" And he got, "Well, I didn't have my hearing aids in." And I was like, "Well, then you're
He
gonna
needed,
like the magician, Dad,
he needed
John."
comedy he could see. I get
Yeah, yeah,
it.
that was the thing.
Hmm.
I did two weird gigs. Not weird. You know how the Lyric Hyperion keeps sort of changing hands?
It was California Comedy Club for a little bit, and
Yep.
then it went back to the Lyric. I don't know who. I don't know if the ownership change. It must have, right? Or
Right, right. I believe it. I
California
believe
Comedy
it
Club
did.
was like a leased situation, and maybe it just didn't
But
keep
I
going.
did Irene 2's show
I did
on
that last week.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah. Super fun. Lightly attended, but really, I got to work on all my new stuff, and I like that.
yeah.
And then the next night, I did the Mama Shelter gig. Have you ever done that?
I have. I can't visualize it in my head
It's
right now, but I have.
rooftop hipster kids.
Oh yeah, yes,
So
yeah,
sort of a bunch of cushions, and it looks like it ought to be a bowl of
yes,
keys party.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
everybody's super young and good looking, and
Right.
you
Did
could
you
overlook all of Hollywood.
consider jumping? I mean, there's no point in doing a rooftop gig if I can't look down and wonder if I should just jump immediately right now.
Here's what I know. I always fuck up the parking. I always do. They're always like, double park in front of the thing, get the parking pass, and then drive 2 blocks and park in that parking lot, and then drive back. And I'm like, I just came off the road. I sold enough merch. Here's $25, and then they pay you for the gig, which is good.
Yeah.
And then I forgot that they also give you free food, so I spent another $25 on some broccolini.
That was
So it wasn't, but the set was super fun, and I got to try all my new stuff. But I did learn this
yeah.
because the crowd is incredibly diverse. It's a bunch of, it's awesome. It's a bunch of like 20s and 30s people, and very few whitey magoos, mostly young black and brown people, and it's awesome. But guess what? The term that anyone under the age of 30 doesn't get: white flight.
Oh,
Gentrification, the opposite of white flight,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
where you push people out of places you want to be because you're like, oh, are you standing there? I'd like to stand there.
Mhm.
Instead of white flight, which is where you're like, oh, you're going to stand there, I'm going to run away. And
Yeah.
so they
Do
they
you
didn't
have
get my. I have a
you have
white
a
flight.
white flight chunk?
Yeah, I don't have a white flight jug. And now here it is, Jackie and Laurie fans. You get to hear the Jackie Cation. When you come and see me this week in Colorado, don't be surprised when you hear me say that moving to Mars is the worst case of white flight that I've ever heard in my life.
Oh,
See?
it's a punchline. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
Uh,
it
you
sucks.
can't explain.
It does
Ah,
suck.
that's a really good joke too. Dang
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, yeah. Because what made me think it is Elon Musk and his fucking apartheid emerald money.
I mean, yeah,
So
if you could do explain white flight in a different chunk and then it'll read as a callback later.
Oh, I
You know
can
what
put
I'm
two
saying?
lines. But the way you know how wordy I am, I can put two lines in it. Being surprised that nobody knows what white flight is, and matter of
Yeah,
fact, I just explained it in 2 sentences. The whole thing about gentrification. I can use
yeah,
that. I can do that, and
man.
then it'll tighten up, and more punchlines will come. Hopefully,
But do it earlier so and just have a little couple jokes there and then
you know how I hate a callback.
but if you can't explain your punchline right before you do the punchline. To
Oh,
me,
that's true. That's
you
true.
don't get the Mars white flight joke will get a big laugh if you just do it 10 minutes later after you've done a white flight, some sort of explanatory chunk with a couple jokes in it. That's all.
You're right. You're entirely right. And look what's happening with my hair here. I don't like what's happening. It's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. I don't know
It
what to
looks
do about it.
fine. It's hair.
It's hair. It's
Uh,
Zoom. What are you gonna
so
do? Let's.
I was at when I was at Flappers, I was talking like it was, those nights where it seems like every comic has anxiety, and so everyone's like talking very anxiously for 10 minutes, and then they slip away to do their set, and you don't see them for 4 years. So I'm talking to one comic who, uh, he's moving. They're moving. They're just
Oh.
moving town.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
family, and it's just because
Oh,
it'll
yeah, yeah.
wherever he's going is cheaper, and
Okay.
he,
Type oh. Oh, I don't know that person actually.
oh, you don't? Oh, he's really
No.
funny, really
Oh,
nice.
good.
That's where they're going. And I'm like, that's a smart move. I mean, if my kid was younger, we wouldn't have to be tied to LA, and
Right. But
whatever.
your kid has to finish high school here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so that was, and we were talking about New York and how, they pay for spots a lot. They pay good money. You could get a
Mhm.
decent money for spots there, and how
Yeah.
shocking it is to come to LA. And then it was
Oh, is that person a New York comic originally?
they were for a while. Yeah,
For a
yeah, yeah.
while. Okay. There we go.
So it's just like a general I don't know, it's so weird. Like everyone's at some different levels of crazy right now because and then I was talking to somebody else about this whole this another comic was saying about this guy who opened for him like 8 months ago, blew up on TikTok or whatever, and now is filling rooms. And it's like, what you cannot, it's like this roving hurricane that'll land on some
Oh,
people
right, right. Yeah, it feels
not
like
remotely stand-up based, and you're like, this is how we have to
it's a twister.
make a
Yeah.
living now? Like, we just
Yeah.
have to put stuff out and hope the swirl happens to us? And how
Right.
long does it last? So
Well,
it's very stressful, and then this guy was telling me about he has the social media, like, everyone's got a person, and the person, and their person knows secret things, and it's like, what? I my time
right.
to
You're
work.
being yeah, you're being driven mad by the fact that there's 9 other jobs that you never thought about. Um
Well,
uh,
and also, if
hang
you
on.
hire someone to do it,
The
were you
dog is fucking around, so hang on a second.
yeah.
Get in. Yeah. What do you need, an invitation, Tyson? Jesus. Anyway, yeah, go lay
Yeah,
down.
3,000 a month someone is paying a social media person.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay,
do you
so
live with
that's
your parents?
insane
How are you
because
doing this? But I can see if all of a sudden you're selling out 6 shows at a club, yeah, you can afford it. Uh,
yeah.
does it happen in a month? So, well, am I someone who been doing comedy since '87? If I hire someone for oh, interesting. Okay. If I hire someone for like 3 months, will that all of a sudden make more of a dent on my career than 30 something years of writing jokes? I mean,
Very possible
what
because I
the
mean,
fuck, Jackie?
well, it's because we're living it's like think about when vaudeville went to TV. That's
Oh,
what we're living in. We're living in that. And it's the way it goes. So I don't know how to fix it. I mean, obviously, but I will say that the the I just met with the woman who I just typed
yeah,
in the thing to just meet. She's incredibly nice, and she's a comic. She's a good
yeah.
comic, and so I was like, I'm having some trouble with this one. Oh, I know, because of how well my TikTok's been doing. My email list has blown up. So you get a free email list with Mailchimp till 2,000 people. So I now have 2,600. Live it up.
Wow.
And right. So because I tried to I think I'm off TikTok, Twitter rather, because I tried to re-sign up for Twitter. This is 3 stories. Here it is. So I logged out. I took Twitter off of my phone because it was irritating me. The
Yes.
algorithm was
Yeah.
giving me a bunch of shit bags that I didn't want to read,
Right.
and so I took it off, and then I folded and tried to put it back on, and they wanted my credit card. And so I was like, "Oh, I guess I don't have Twitter anymore because I'm not giving
Can you
those
log
guys my
in from
credit card."
an iPad or a laptop or something? Or
Right. So now I'm going on Safari and I'm going on my desktop and my computer if I want to do Twitter, which by the
wow,
way has really cut down the amount of time I spend on Twitter, which
of
isn't
course.
bad.
No,
And
not at all.
so, but the pinned tweet, I believe, is, "Hey, feel free to join my email list." So people join my email list. A bunch of people join my email list, and but if it's over 2,000, Mailchimp is $69 a month.
Jesus. Now, can you
So
export those names to a different email?
server and a thing, sure, except for they're all that. Because
Oh,
that's why I was asking the social media person
that's
that I just
high.
typed. It's it's very high, and I can write it off, right? But
I
I
know,
don't
but
care. I don't I don't have enough, you know, I could write any number of things off if I had a giant bag of money. And so,
mhm,
but to also get to live. But so I asked, I paid her some money and asked her if she would just talk to me about different things. And one of them was MailChimp. One of them is the fact that my YouTube page is youtube.com/the dork forest. So
mhm,
there's no way to monetize my YouTube channel
mhm.
because I have
I
no
can't.
tax documents that say the
Oh,
dork forest.
okay.
I there's something about business acting, Jackie Cation acting as a business called the dork forest. I don't know how to do it. And we didn't get to it because what she did was she walked me through MailChimp to make my email look better. And I've never gotten, so we did it together. I went back later, wrote the things I needed to write, and then sent out an email because I'm doing Valentine's Day in Silverthorne, Colorado. And
Mhm,
then I'm at Comedy Works Landmark all weekend. And so Tuesday I'm in Silverthorne, Wednesday is dark, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday I'm in Denver Landmark Comedy Works. And so the I've never gotten this many responses. I don't know what the hell she did. It does look better, and I mean, I too like shiny things, right?
mhm.
But and the other thing that happened on social media, I've been getting huge good numbers on my Instagram reels in an effort to make up my sound exchange money. And the I posted a video I had to do it in two parts because of the length of Instagram reels, and I wanted to get as much views and money as I could, right?
Mhm.
It's the tantric sex bit, which was the closer I think from 2 albums ago, Hero. And I'd forgotten that I had done it on the HBO Two Dope Queens show. And so it's me wiggly, shouty, doing my, long and short of it. And Reels, again, Instagram is like, "Oh, you broke our it's dirty. It's too dirty. We're taking away all your money." And I was like, "Yeah, married sex with that joke." Um,
Wow. I don't
it's
that joke isn't dirty, right?
no, no, it isn't. It mentions tantric sex, and I say the words deep stroke, shallow stroke.
Those are that's a swimming those are swimming catchphrases, by the way.
Oh, deep strokes,
Yeah,
short
you
stroke.
take a deep stroke. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you were giving
Yeah,
swim instruction.
yeah.
Wow, that's really shitty. So they take
Hmm.
away, they don't just take that video down, they take all the money that you would earn on every other video away.
I don't know. Remember, I had the same problem last month, and I still got some money. So it may be when I put a reel that has any sort of sexy times on it at all, it shuts down for the month, and it's the middle of the month. It says that I don't get to monetize my reels again until March 12th.
Wow.
So I don't know, whatever it is, because I also forgot that HBO, because I'm looking for everything to clip out. And as a matter of fact, I think I've got, because the social media woman was like, "Don't you have any old stuff, old stuff?" And I was like, "No." And I do. I went and I digitized a bunch of stuff, but I don't know where I put those CDs. I believe they're on CD-ROMs.
Right. Yeah. It's
It's. I just
not
want to tell
fun.
jokes, right?
It's not satisfying. It doesn't pay anything
Right.
unless you accidentally strike gold, you know?
Hmm. Well, I'm hoping. Yeah, like Yeah, if I could find, you know what? Maybe I find clips because that guy who ended up clipping something out, maybe he could do an old bit. I'm writing a note to myself.
Yeah.
Maybe he could, because he's really good at tightening up. Like, because I also pulled my Comedy Central. It was on my phone. My Comedy Central half hour special,
Yeah.
and it's that weird. It's that weird joke. And I'm also talking to some woman about maybe animating my spooky reading girl and imaginary friend bit, which are
Mhm.
so old but they're fun bits. And I still have spooky reading girl pins that I need to sell. You
Yeah,
guys, the
sure.
mystery of stand-up comedy is completely lost when you listen to the Jackie and Laurie show because it's
Yeah.
every cog, every wheel revealed.
Yeah,
So
and honestly, so like the two times that okay, so the one time I went really viral was when I told, did my little appearance on MSNBC. And it was
right.
incredibly unpleasant. I got nothing but death threats. I had to start paying a lot of money for digital security and home security. Like
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't fun. And
Mm-hmm.
then the only video that's gotten a lot of there's the two video okay, there's one stand-up video that's gotten traction, and
Mm-hmm.
one death joke from my about my dad. Okay.
Right.
And
Right.
then
It's that button pushy thing.
no, then the other two were Harry and Meghan and Wessex video that I just a little tiny rant that I put on TikTok that
Right.
attracted the Meghan haters.
Right.
A little video about Louis C.K. fans, I put that on YouTube Shorts, and that attracted the woman haters. The times the three times I've had lots of interaction, it mostly has been people hating me for what I've said.
Well,
And part of me is like, well, if that is that how I'm supposed to get stand-up stuff to like I don't want those. I don't want
yeah. Yeah, you don't want them picketing your shows. Yeah. So what I get, like I did the t- the TikTok, the stuff that people come, I get, let's say I get 100 comments, but I really get 120 comments because 20 of those comments are women, just said that emoji that just has the flat no smile. It's just the eye roll kind of thing where
yeah.
uh they're just like, not funny. And I always delete them. So are you also getting positive comments?
Oh,
Like
on
on the ones that went viral?
the Louis one, very almost none. Almost
Okay. Right, right.
And then on the Megan one, a little bit. It was
Hmm.
really found by and Megan haters are pretty strong. And you say, wow, this is shocking because I thought Team Sussex had a pretty good substantial presence. But
Did you hear, by the way, Charles wants Harry to come to his coronation?
Yeah, Jackie, I heard it. Please quit breaking any royal news to me, please.
Breaking news.
It's
Charles said a
insulting.
thing.
I'm insulted that you thought that you would tell me something I didn't know about the royal family. Okay.
Too funny. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, lateral topic. Wait, I don't know, where are we? We're real close.
No.
Why don't we take a break here? I think
Okay.
it's because we should and Kyle would like it if we did. So it's happening right there. Good for us.
Okay.
And now we're back.
Oh, so
So,
yesterday we did a Patreon pod with Erin Jackson, and
yep.
we spoke with her. She kicked it with us. You and I had 2 mornings in a row where we're speaking at 9 in the morning. It's really
Right.
really awful.
Right.
Erin
9 in the morning is only, yeah, there's very few comics who could do this.
Right. Erin is working. She's working on the Upshaws. So she's got a 9 to 5 or a 10 to 8 or whatever the fuck it is. And so she can only do the weekends anyway. So if you're
Yeah.
a $5 and up Patreon,
Yep.
you can listen
Yeah,
to it. You can listen
that's the
for it.
fifth. It's the fifth interview.
But
They're
yeah,
just half-hour interviews we do with comics, and they've all been comics of the week, and they're all people that we admire.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
as are all comics of the week.
So
Speaking of which,
or thank you.
we should have done the comic of the week. So let me. Ooh, I worked with her last weekend. I didn't work with her. I stayed for the second show at this Travers Comedy Traverse City Comedy Festival,
Yeah.
and she went up. The MC was very funny too, future comic of the week. But
Uh-huh.
the MC actually worked with Maria at or did a guestie at Comedy Castle the following weekend. But this woman is a Nevada comic, Albuquerque, I believe. That's in New Mexico. She's a New
What
Mexican.
are you saying?
Well, I don't.
You're talking about the MC who's not the comic of the week. You're saying she's a Nevada comic in Albuquerque, New Mexico. What's happening, Jackie?
The world's gone mad, but it's because I liked her so much. I liked her so much. I would like to
Calm
get to her.
down. Take a breath, woman.
Okay, we have time. Adrienne Chileppa. I hope I'm saying it right. It's Adrienne Chileppa, and it's chileppa.com is her website, and it's Adrienne Chileppa on Instagram. It'll be in the notes. Adrienne is spelled with a couple of A's, Adrianne, and then Chalepah. And she's Native American. And her stuff was super funny. She did probably 15, right? Maybe 20. And it was super funny. Just stand up, normal stand up, a little bit about having kids and being Native American, a little bit of having kids, being Native American, and then double down on the Native American stuff. And I was like, holy, it was one of the greatest. I think I told you that bit, right? About her and her husband.
I don't think so.
I don't want to ruin it for anyone. It's just
Tell me
like,
later.
yeah. But she is really funny. And I don't know. She might have done that Graham Elwood Native American HBO thing, but
Oh, I didn't know Graham Elwood's Native American too.
I don't know. I think he produced it, and so that was the punchline because her husband
I
about
need
her husband.
I need some of the lines in between.
You need some context.
Coming at me hard.
That punchline,
Shut up.
it knocked me on my ass, that punchline, because
Yeah.
she was super she's super likable, and
Yeah.
she's just like, she's talking about stuff, and then all of a sudden she's like, I don't know if you know this about the Native Americans. It didn't go well. So and we're trying to rebuild. And it was very funny. But Adrienne Chalupa, and so find her, follow her, be part of her life, give her money, buy her merch if she has any.
Yeah.
Book her if you book things. So yeah.
Yeah. So and then last night I was at the West Side.
Oh wow.
That was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Asif Ali was there, and I he was in the Harry Styles movie with Olivia Wilde directed a movie. I forget what it's called. And I think I kind of half watched it, so I didn't pay full attention to it. So now
Right.
I want to pay full attention to it. It was the one with Nick Kroll was in it too.
Okay.
I forget what it's called. There was like the publicity at Cannes was crazy because there was all this weird shit going on because she had an affair with Harry Styles, and
Oh, that's that
was
one.
married
Okay.
to, Ted Lasso. Why do I not know names? Anyway,
Right. That's okay. I
anyway,
never saw I only remembered about that
I
because
gotta
of
watch
the
them.
I saw the Everything Everywhere movie last night.
Oh, you haven't seen that? I saw that a
No.
while ago. My
Right,
son
'cause
is like addicted to it. He loves it. I thought I
right.
liked it too, but he loves it. So I can't say I loved it because I'm with a true fan, and he's like thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Right. You're just like, well, you don't love it the right way. You're my mom. You got to love it in this particular way. Well, Andrew Thompson's been asking me if I've seen it since it came out. And so I don't know if it was supposed to be free streaming, but I ended up having to pay for it. And I'm happy to pay for, obviously, content. Happy to pay for content, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing Denver and Silverthorne. I think they added a second show because, again, Colorado,
That's so cool.
the place where I do well.
Listen,
And so I'm bringing a lot of merch.
yeah, definitely. MailChimp should cost $69 a year. Okay.
It
Because
really,
it's built. All right. They may be updating it every once in a while, but they did it once, and they've got tweakers that are tweaking all the time, but that's it. It's done. And for them to have such a high subscription price, that's ridiculous.
right. So what I did do, because I saw that they also have a survey thing,
Chimp Monkey?
uh,
Is it Survey Monkey?
a survey monkey. Yeah, I also have a survey, and that's almost $350 a year.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But let me tell you,
And I do one survey.
the guy the guy who started that was married to Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook, and he died while running on a treadmill, like way before the pandemic. And
Proof
here's the
positive. Yep.
I read Lean In, right? And she
Okay.
has like this, she's basically she says, be white, wealthy, and have a husband that supports you.
You know what?
It's
How did she do
emotionally.
it? How did she do it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. That's the basic message of Lean In, right? And there's like this little paragraph about single moms and how hard it is. And then I just was like, "Phew." And then I wrote a whole spec off the premise that a single mom is hiding the fact that she's not married from her boss, who's like a lean in aficionado, acolyte, whatever. So anyway, so it's outdated now. But so not that, no, it's not.
It's not
It was
outdated.
just, no, no, no. What I'm saying was it was interesting after like all this, then her husband died and she was a single mom. I'm like, I don't know, maybe you courted it, honey.
Yeah. Well, um, that I have to say that I had that advantage when Andy and I got together. It
Mhm.
was, I had grounded out for so long by myself and for so long. And I remember the very first time that I realized that having a partner was support and financial, economic, not just emotional and cuddles, right?
Right.
Where it was that trip I took. We were supposed to go to Afghanistan and we ended up going to Africa and the Middle East to perform for the troops. It was Felicia Michaels, myself, and Alicia Cooper, and run by Vargas Mason. And
Oh,
Vargas got
I
hurt
know you
day
told me
2.
about that, but that sounds so fun. Okay, keep going.
Well, Vargas got super hurt, broke his
Right,
kneecap
right, right.
second day. And
Oh,
so, right. And it's all on the Horcrux album, you guys. Get out there. Amazon, iTunes. That's the only place it's available. Knock yourselves out. So, but the the weird thing, so Felicia, Alicia, yeah,
wow.
and myself all ended up traveling around the Middle East by ourselves. And the joke, of course, not a headscarf between the three of us, and Felicia Michaels continuing to flirt with every dude with at every just flirting, just literally just being Felicia Michaels, right? Which
She's
is a
single.
goddamn.
She's out there. She
She was
doesn't have her
she
kids with
was
her. Yeah.
right. She was single, and she's a goddamn knockout. And Alicia Cooper desperately needing to talk to her mom every day, so talking to like dudes with guns trying to borrow their cell phone numbers.
My God.
And Vargas, one of the last things he said, Jackie, I think I'm going to put you in charge. And I'm like, of what? Of herding cats? Anyway, so good Lord, why did I start this story?
Lean in, single
Oh,
mom,
okay.
yeah,
So when Vargas got hurt,
partner.
we kind of had a small meeting. We're like, well, do we want to keep going or do we all just want to go home? And it was 3 weeks of work that I was like, and so I was talking to Felicia and Alicia, and I said, we should, obviously Vargas should get to keep his money, even though we're going to continue to work because this is going to cost him. And they were like, yeah, that sounds fair. And I said, do you guys want to give him our money too? And they
What the
both,
fuck? What is
I,
wrong with you?
I am wrong. I was wrong. And they,
I hope they both attacked you. Each Isha attacked you from one side. Well, and
each, they both did. And they were just like, Jackie, you are with somebody who is financially supporting you.
oh my
So
goodness.
you don't get to tell us. And I was like, you are correct. And that was when I realized. That was when um, I realized that sort of just a second fucking income.
Yeah. Mhm.
It does an enormous, it does a lot, which is why I think people sometimes stay together when they shouldn't.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
mom was a second income. She paid rent.
yeah,
That helped.
right. Chris is out of the hospital,
Yay.
so which is great. She was in the hospital 9 days. They were trying to figure out what was wrong. They found other things wrong with her, but they didn't find out why she has these pain spikes. And so she came home last night and she had a couple of pain spikes. in the middle of the night.
Oh, shit.
And so it'll take her a couple of days, I think, to get used to being back. And
Take
that'll
pain meds. Oh man.
pain.
I would try to get my mom on THC. I'm like, just try this, try this, try this. It's just
Mhm. Yeah.
try not to have pain. I think that's my number one medical tip to anyone
Right.
because no one knows how to solve it, you know?
Right. And they'll only at hospice time, only like in the
Oh
last
yeah,
week
when
of
they're
your
knocked
life,
out. Yeah.
are they like, you can have as much morphine as you want.
Yeah. Right.
But before that, it's not a thing. And so yeah, so we have a THC rub, and so but it's but we bef- a Jackie and Laurie fan is a doctor and emailed me and told me how to talk to the hospital about getting home care. And
Oh,
so we now have access, supposedly today or tomorrow. They're going to call about someone coming once a week. It'll be, I think it's once a week. There'll be a PT person and a home nurse and maybe an OT person. And you know what? Much like when somebody goes to visit my dad, it's just else to be there, right? It breaks up the damn day.
mhm.
And which I think will be great for Andy because I am about to go on the road. Because this week I'm in Denver, next week I'm in Vermont, and the week after that I'm in Hutchinson, Minnesota, where they added another show as well. So I don't know if Hutchinson, Minnesota gets TikTok uh, or what is happening, um,
Yay.
but I need. Oh, and the reason that came up was because Chris, when she moved in with us, which was probably it was last June.
Right.
She gave us, she was like, I'm going to pay rent. And uh, Andy was like, Mom, I don't want to squeeze $1,000 out of you every month. How about that? And
Step in and say, yes, we want to squeeze the grand out.
I said, I think we all know my opinion. That's how I put it. Because there's and the thing is because she was like, well, I think I should pay this amount, and Andy was like, I don't think it should be more than $1,000, and I said, why don't you guys split the difference? And then she had just gotten a big bunch of cash because she sold her house,
Mhm.
so she wrote a check for the year, which was
Right.
wasn't a lot. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a lot. I used to live on that, but I mean, because it's I think it's 1,200 a month, so
Yeah.
just to be
Yeah, that's what my mom was
transparent.
saying. That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, and
And my mom has her own bathroom. I mean, my mom didn't even have her own bathroom.
oh
You
yeah.
I'm not saying you could charge Chris 15.
That seems, yeah, I'm willing to gouge her. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I think, yeah, so it's just gonna take. So she's been back one day. It'll take a couple of days to get used. But I leave on Tuesday morning. I'm really hoping that you know, and there's people that I can ask to come over and just help take her to appointments and stuff, and Kyle's been pretty helpful too, which is nice, and
Yeah.
walk the dogs and help Andy when I'm gone. So it's a weird thing to
How long in your life you didn't have to do this? And now all of a sudden you go on the road, you have
that
to
small smile can fuck itself.
ah,
So
love it. I hope you get another pet. That's what I
I think one of my roommates had a cat once, and I never had to interact with the cat. And
love it.
now I feel sad. I felt she was in the hospital for 9 days, so every time I'd walk by the cat, I'm like, "Hey, Tigger, how you doing? You're a cat. You deserve scritches too." And the cat was like, "Yes, I deserve treats and attention. I am a cat."
Listen,
And
can I say I'll say this whenever my mom was in the hospital
mhm,
or in a skilled nursing facility, except the last time when she got COVID,
yeah,
it was like a vacation for me.
right. I
We
mean.
can't find out what's wrong. Good. Stop searching so hard. Keep her in there.
It's there was a point where she was good. She was like, I'm not in any pain, it's great. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you have 4 people checking on you every 2 hours,
Right, right.
and you haven't been doing anything, you're just lying in bed. And so she's going to want to do things, because she's alive, because she's a person. and and last night she came and she had dinner with us, at the table, and because she's been eating in a bed with a tray at the hospital.
Oh, my dream. Oh, that's all I want. I just want to be hospitalized for the rest of my life. I just want to eat in bed with more people tending to my pain needs.
Are you here's my question. Are you
Yes.
yeah. Oh wait, before we do that, let's do one more break just
Okay.
cuz I have to find time code, but by God, I'm going to find it. It's not going to. And we're back.
I have this.
So, are you working this week? Are you going somewhere?
Oh yeah, I'm in San Rafael this weekend on Saturday night. I'm doing
Oh,
Best
nice.
Fest, the San Francisco Comedy Festival at the Marin Civic Center. So go to my website, get tickets if you're up there. It's in the
Mhm.
North Bay, north of it's in Throckmorton territory.
Oh, right. San Rafael. Andy worked at a video game company in San Rafael and lived there for 2 years.
So beautiful.
Right.
Wow, the weekend after, I'm in Albany. Guys, I haven't had much
That's right.
time.
Funny Bone.
Please come out. I'm so excited. Uh I have so many. I don't know if I'm going to rent a car on Saturday and just drive around to all. I got to see where my great uncle shot himself. I got to go to that pier. The house my grandma and grandpa got like settled in after they got married is still up. All right. The
Got
other
to go
thing
to that garage. Don't forget to go to that garage.
Gotta go to the garage. That I as I read my uncle's my great uncle Jerry built the garage, I guess, right? It was next to the house that my great great grandfather built.
Look forward to the guy that lives in that house coming out on the porch and going,
Yeah, that's gonna be, I mean, I'll stay respectful. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
be climbing up into people's houses. And then
It's kind of on a dead end near the highway now.
yeah,
That
that's
that red
why they tore
garage.
the house down. It's just grass now. I don't know why they couldn't leave the house up.
Mhm.
But and then I got to go if possible to Sacred Heart Church because my great grandfather helped build it,
Right.
and a bunch of them are buried there. Got to say hello to the graves, say thank you for making the
Sure.
voyage.
Oh, right. I drove by we drove by we did not go in to see the graves, but we drove by the cemetery.
Thank you. That was
Sure.
something.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and we sent you a picture of that.
and
So
then I have 2 shows that night. I don't know how I'm going to recover emotionally from all this connection
all those deaths.
to death.
And yeah, it's uh yeah, so I did something with back to stand-up comedy and money. So
Mhm.
sorry. So the Sound Exchange, I claimed my 19 tracks from my messy album that is only on Sirius XM and playing. So, because Blonde Medicine turned it into 19 tracks.
Oh, it's that one. Oh, why
Yeah.
didn't Blind Medicine claim it? Or no, you have
No,
to
no,
claim
that
that.
I get the artist side,
Right.
and he clipped it out, and I was just like, I trusted him because I mean, the thing about Dominic Del Bene is he's been around stand up for 30 odd years. So usually I micromanage, but I couldn't listen. I did old material, I did new material, I did stuff from Staycation, and so it was this mishmash of, it's literally listed, the title of the album is listed, Life is Messy, for no reason, just because I was like, I don't know what to call
Right, right.
it. And then
Well,
I looked up Maria. I decided to look up Maria Bamford to see how many tracks, and in the hopes that she has claimed them all. I can't tell if she's claimed them all. 4,200. So I really, really hope she's signed up for Sound Exchange.
and you have 19?
Well, I have 19. Well, I have all my albums. They're also
I
signed
know
up
what
on.
happened. You currently have 19.
No, I had 19 new ones.
Okay.
Yeah, all the old ones are still signed up. They're just not playing anywhere,
I don't
right?
know what happened with that stuff. I sent an email because they were going to look into it, and then after the new year, and no one's looked into it or gotten back to me.
It's February 12th.
I know. Well,
Mhm.
oh, believe me, I know. I'm just stunned, and so so depressed.
Right. What if we re-released all of our albums at like half rate? Then it would be a different algorithm.
Under a different name.
Well, just yeah, a different title. And like if I took because Andy, for some reason on my phone, one of my tracks came up in the car, and Andy was listening to it, and he was like, "I've never heard this bit before." And there was a pause. Well, because I was just trying to turn it off, and so he listened to it like in like 5 or 6 seconds. He said, "I this is your cadence when you don't think it has enough punchlines, and so you want to get through it quick because you're doing an album." And I was like, "Yeah, I was like, everyone has the rest of their lives to get all of these jokes. I don't. I had to get the joke out. So,
Well, so my, yeah, I don't know about that. Like, I was just talking to one of the people I was talking to at Flappers. Well, someone in our chat said one company is charging comedians
mhm,
$50,000 to do a special,
mhm,
charging the comics,
yeah,
and then they put it up on socials.
yeah. It's,
$50,000,
yeah,
unbelievable.
it's right.
So,
But
yes,
this
yes.
is right. This is, and surprised that it's not those people.
No, those people are paying me a significantly less, but I'm like, at least I'm not out 50,000. I'll probably, I'll make a little bit because I'm going to
Yeah.
spend a little bit of it on, I want to get a stylist. I want someone to dress me. I want to, like, Teresa Greeno looks great. She has someone dressing her for
Yeah.
things. I want someone to dress me.
Yeah.
And, maybe I'll take them if I know I do need the money
Zagrino was going to hook me up with that woman, but here's what she said: "You have to just ask me again." And
though.
guess who has not?
Yeah,
I've like so many projects. I have
I know.
really good ideas,
Yes.
and that's exciting. It's exciting to want to do things again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Kyle's going to help me film something
Oh, cool.
next month, which will be fun because Kyle loves all that tech stuff.
Mhm.
Because he's got his label, but he's going to help me. He's going to help me film that, and then I want to do the animation of those two bits. I think I just want to see what can be done animation wise with more stand up of mine because I really do like that LA Pet bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, and it was before they got their Oscar, but it was so interesting working with animators on that bit because I didn't really work with animators on that bit. What Greg Franklin told me, because the people who animated the LA Pet bit had got an Oscar 3 years ago, I think it was, for Hair Love,
Yeah.
which was the animated short, and they got the Oscar,
Good.
and so it was really beautiful. And so when and they had, I asked them to animate for me because they had animated a bit of Kyle Kinane's about bunnies fucking, and it was hilarious. And what I loved about it was that there were jokes behind his jokes. Like when you do
Visual jokes.
animation,
Yeah.
yes, like he talks, his bit is about walking from UCB Franklin home with his girlfriend, and they see bunnies running in a pen, and there's a guy and his daughter also watching these cute bunnies run in a pen, and they realize that these bunnies are going to fuck. And so the dude realizing it with his daughter, and he's like trying to kind of move her away possibly. And at one point during he's telling the story, he doesn't mention this, but Greg Franklin and his team have Kyle take out his phone and start filming it,
Oh, neat.
and
Oh,
it's just a great
yeah.
visual.
Yeah.
And he did the same with the LA Pat. There were so many crazy visual jokes in that
Yeah. Yeah.
bit where I'm throwing a cat away. He's got Alta Vista. The dog is typing the first line of "Call Me Ishmael, Moby Dick," and so many jokes in my bit.
Yeah.
So that's what I love so much about that. And so if anybody could do that, so I'm talking to this friend of David Huntsberger's, who is a woman animator, and she's going to look at the bit and see if she can animate it.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I was just thinking my son should start doing stuff like that. He's
Yeah,
very into his own things right now, which is totally understandable at 16.
It
Um,
makes sense.
by
Yeah.
the way, so I check, I'm not really checking in on my kids' homework that much. I'm like, that's your job, and not that's not my nature. Okay, I'm not a
Yeah.
helicopter mom. So, but I popped in because he was out for 10 days because of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he has to interview a senior citizen. So I text him. I'm like, oh yeah, you have to interview a senior citizen. Who are you going to interview? And he goes, I already did it. And I'm like, what?
Ooh.
Because, well, I haven't done it, but I don't, something like, you did. And I go, who
That
did
is such
you
a 16. I already did it. Well, I haven't done it, but I've done it in my mind.
No, but he goes, who? I go, who are you going to interview? He goes, you. But I don't have to ask you the questions because I know how you're going to answer. And I'm like, two levels, that is wrong. First of all, I am not a senior citizen. All, you don't get to tell me what my answers are. So if you have to find a fucking actual senior to interview, and he got all duh.
Can I tell you two things about that? He just defined how I write my jokes about my dad. Uh, if he did stand up, it'd be like, well, this is what he would say. And
Yeah.
I like to clean up my dad's bits. And I think we are senior citizens.
Well, his teacher said it was 55 and up, and but I'm still insulted. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
Fair enough.
sorry.
And he should get someone, yeah, he should get someone older.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And interview them because you're supposed to ask questions, not somebody whose life you already know.
Right. Tell him to call Jeff Ross. He's in his 60s.
I don't want to put Jeff Ross in touch with a 16-year-old, no matter what the gender.
Right. Of any gender ever. It's true.
Well, I
Yeah.
think we're over, right?
Now we're at like 56.
Oh, I think
So,
that we started late.
yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. So I bought so I'm working on my pilot, working on it, and it's all starting to come together and everything's changing and all that stuff. And you can't see behind me, but I got a big old cork board at Staples, a 3x4, and I'm like
Nice.
hitting little cards and moving things around, figure out what's the opening scene and all that. And then I got an easel because I don't have enough
Mhm.
wall space to hang this up anyplace. So I got an easel from somebody off Craigslist. That's kind of cool. It's like an old wood easel. So I just have this in my room, and
Okay. That you
you know,
can work on.
yeah. I mean, this is what I was supposed to be doing at the office I rented, but I just driving it over there was so It was all just not happening. That
Right.
was
Right. You
the
didn't end up using it. So did you cancel it or?
yeah, I did. Yeah, it was 600 a month for 3 months, and I
Ooh.
went
Do you
there.
do you know her?
Yeah. Well, I know who she is, of course.
Okay.
I don't know her.
Because I would like to sit down with her and find out how she sold her show because I don't know how to do it.
Oh, I think it was. I can tell you what I've heard, but I'll tell you
Okay,
what.
yeah, yeah. No, and God knows. I mean, I don't have a show. I mean, I do, but I'm working on it with someone who does know how to sell a show. So I don't actually have to talk to that person, but I was wondering if you knew her. This
I
couldn't be more cryptic, listeners of the Jackie and Laurie show. My apologies.
I'm going to. This is like a pitchable show, but I'm
Yeah.
also going to write a pilot to see if I can just get staffed on a half hour someplace.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Oh, shrewd.
it's the first one that's not directly off of my experience, so it's a little it's a little more open and stuff,
Yep.
which is fun, but it's different. Anyway, so that's taken up a lot of my headspace that I probably should be devoting to transcribing 15-year-old jokes and captioning them. You know what it feels like? It feels like going backwards is what it feels like whenever I do that. I'm like, I've done this already. Why do I need
Right.
to put
But
this up?
I mean, this is the only good thing that I've gotten out of it. Entirely forgot about that tantric sex joke. It's a funny joke.
Yep.
Though I did have a small when I was watching it, I was like, Jesus Christ, this joke. I literally, first of all, hubris alert. I looked at that joke and I was like, this is might be the greatest joke I've ever heard in my life. I'm amazing. And then I thought to myself, will I ever write a joke this good again? And I started to get into that headspace. And I was like, stop, 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 undo, undo. That's not going to be of any use to anyone. So yeah, so you're going to San Rafael. Raphael, right?
This week in San Rafael, and then Albany the next weekend, and then Rooster Teeth Feathers the following weekend, March 2nd through the 5th. I'll be in the Bay Area at South Bay. Come on
Awesome.
back to Roosters. I know you guys just saw Jackie, but now it's your
Cock-a-doodle doo.
meet.
Yeah, yeah. And right. And I'm Denver and then Vermont and then Hutchinson, Minnesota. And then I think a couple weeks and then Bloomington, Indiana. Thank you. I think that's enough.
Yeah, that's plenty.